everybody, how you doing now? Hey Dee. My name
Your
is Sharon
music
with
was
UCDI and do something UCDI and do something daily. This is our 30-day reset, and this is day 24, which is 8 times 3. So new beginnings, new beginnings, new beginnings, 3 times Trinity, however you want to look at it. 24 is a powerful number. And so the other day we were talking about how it can be so easy to be focused on different things that we miss some of the things that are right here, right now, today. Like we can be so focused on an election that's a couple of months, almost 3 months
yes.
away, and so we miss what's going on right here, right now, today, and things slip through the cracks. With the 30-day reset, one of the things we really look for and we really encourage people to do is look at what it is we're doing, how we're spending our time, how we're spending our conversations, our communication. What are we doing? Who are we doing it with? Does this work? Is this the return on investment we want? Or is this just an energy suck and like an emotional vampire? So we want to look at the processes and things that we're doing so that we can improve. Not proving anything to anybody else, but just improve, progressive growth as we go and as we go along the way. And so those are some things we talked about then. Dee is joining me. Some of you know Dee. Dee is my sister. Dee is also someone who's traveled the world singing, been in plays. People just tend to like Dee. She's just a fun-loving person. And so she's going to join us today as we're talking about the reset. Because what happens on a reset is you're excited. Oh, I'm starting. Everybody starts strong.
Right.
But those middle times when you're creating change, so you're going through stages of change, that's when you begin to feel some of the uncertainty, the frustration, the confusion. Sometimes if you are separating from a pattern or a practice you've had for years, you actually may feel some sadness because that thing is so familiar to you that you feel some sadness and like, how do I, what can I do to offset this feeling? It's okay. Just feel the feeling and keep moving forward. And so, Dee, how are you doing today? How is your reset going?
Actually, it's going good. I will not, I'm like Abraham Lincoln, I will not tell a lie. This last
Thank
week,
God.
this last week was not the easiest. And I think it's partly what you're saying. We all get started and, like, oh, I'm going to start this. Nobody's new job, new diet, new relationship. We start off with just so much energy and fire. And then about halfway through, we're like, this is more work than I expected, or this may take more time than I expected to put into it. And then we find ourselves wanting to go revert back to the familiar, our familiar habits. And so I would think for me, I know for me, I don't even have to think about it. Last week was that type of week for me. And I think it was just, I mean, we know mine. You may not know mine, so I'll tell you what my reset goals were to go to bed. I am a typical night owl. I can stay up 2, 3, 4 in the morning, but then I don't want to get up the next day. And I have to be at work. Even though I'm working from home, I want to be honorable and do what I say I'm going to do. And if I'm going to be honorable, I got to get out of the bed. So
Right.
and so I've been struggling trying to be in their bed before the clock strikes midnight. And that is not easy at all for me. And it's just years of bad habits. Sharon said I was a singer, so being on the road, you went to bed late because you could sleep all day. Well, I'm no longer on the road, but that habit now is still a part of who I am. So I'm working to break that habit. And so I will say I've done a lot better with sticking with that one. My second one was working out. My goal during this 30 days was to lose 15 pounds. And I'm proud to say my weigh-in was today. I had to go give myself an accountability partner for my weigh-in. And so last week, I did not eat the best. And so I almost didn't go weigh in today. But you know what? I called her and I said, good or bad, it is what it is. It's not whether I lost or didn't lose, it's whether I stick to the plan, whether I stick to my goals and keep my word. And my word is I'm going to check in every Monday in spite of what I feel like. And so it took me, I had to drag myself out of this house to go to meet with her. And I did the weigh in and was actually down 1 pound. I was just so happy I wasn't up. That 1 pound seemed like my whole 15 pounds. So I was really grateful. So even to be down 14, my goal is 15. So I have a few more days to hit that 1 pound, get that 15 goal. But it's just what I'm learning through this. Thank you, Shannon. So
Yeah.
15 pounds. And it's just in reprogramming. And for most of us, Sharon, I don't know about you, but that is just a fight. It's a fight to reprogram your system, your thinking, the habits you've been doing for so many years. It's a fight. But I was just sharing with yesterday, and I'm not going to take over this program, but I got a lot I can say. But I was just sharing with somebody yesterday, and that's what helped me even go today. Is I was always I'm a gospel singer, so I've been in church most all of my life. Can't say I was always a Christian, but I've always been in church. And one of the things that somebody was holding a conversation with me yesterday, and they said, "Remember how when your daughter was young, we'd be laughing because you would have her at every Friday night prayer, and she would get on that bench and just go to sleep while we'd be in there all night praying." And a visiting minister one day was in town, and he was at the church with us on that Friday, and my daughter was the only kid there. She was snoring, knocked out. And I remember he stopped and said, "Whose child is this?" And I couldn't even see. I was in the choir stand on my knees or something. And I just heard somebody say, "Oh, that's Deronda's little girl." And so he said, "Who's Deronda? Stand up." And I stood up. He said, "This child is familiar with praying. This child is familiar with the atmosphere of prayer because she's in here with all this noise and she is sound asleep like nothing in the world is bothering her." That's a child who sees consistency, a mother consistently praying. And for some reason, that was one of the reasons that got me to get up today. Because the key word there is not that I'm such a great prayer warrior, not I was so faithful, but consistent. Consistent. And so in the rest of this 30 days, not even the rest of the 30 days, my goal is to keep up the habits because that's what we're trying to do. You don't break a habit for 2 weeks to go right back. That's our problem. That's the issue. We break a habit to break a habit, or we start a new habit to start better habits. And so we all know they say it's 21 days to break or make a new habit. So that consistent, when we were talking yesterday, it hit me. Just like you did that consistently, now it doesn't bother me at all to pray. I remember my first year at that church, I was like, I'll have like 3 minutes worth of prayer. Hello, God, it's me. And then the more I did it, the more I did it, the more comfortable I became with doing it. And so now for me to sit and try to be in a prayer revival or whatever for 2, 3, 4 hours, it's fine. That was not always the case. And I had to remember that when you've been eating at every fast food restaurant 3, 4 days a week, it's not easy to break. Easy. It's not easy to break, but it is doable if
It
you
is.
just stay consistent. Be faithful in the little things. Be faithful with the little decisions you're making. And those become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's where I am today. So I am proud of that 1 pound. And I'm more proud that I still went on and got out of this house and went to weigh in because that, again, is consistency. And that's how I'm going to make the difference in my eating, in my weight loss, in my journey to get to bed, because I know that's a part. So, I'm just proud, Sharon, and I am grateful for you and UCDI for even opening this and giving us a chance to do a 30-day reset. and then somebody to say, yes, I'm doing it, and know you're out here with me, that I can say, Sharon, oh, girl, it's 24. We going to make it. And
Yes,
yes,
we are.
we can do it. We can do it, you know? So that's what I challenge you. You can do it. Is it easy? No. Any good thing we work for is never easy.
One
It's
of the
just
things about the reset, I just want to share this as we are, because we're not going to be here long. One of the things about the reset is you get to select your victories. You get to select how you reset. A lot of times it's
right.
easy. It's always easy to start. We have great starters, but we don't always have great finishers. But great finishers are the people who we see that are consistently successful. We have great idea individuals, but we always don't have great implementers.
Yes.
People go to webinars, they go to 2 or 3 day conferences all the time, and they're so inspired when they leave. But most people don't implement. Implementing is part of finishing strong. And so with the reset, it's a 30-day reset, but it's a reset not just for 30 days. It's just a 30-day reset where your focus is on what you want to see coming to fruition, what you want to see change, what you want to see grow, what you want to see improve, what you want to see minimize. That's your focus. And so we concentrate everything on it during these 30 days, but it's not just for the 30 days. Here's the thing. I'm glad that there are some people doing this with me. I don't want you to do the reset just for the 30-day reset. It's like when people, like I know at one of the churches, they're like, yeah, we're going to do Biggest Losers. And people get in because in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's that belonging need. And so
Right.
people get the Biggest Loser because of belonging and being a part of something, not actually because they really think they're going to change their eating for the rest of their life. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're doing the reset, I want you to be authentic and honest with yourself. Like, am I resetting because it feels good and I'm just purging out some things for this season? Or is this a reset where I'm like, no, I'm cutting some things away so that I can be pruned and be more able to have the life that should flow through the vines and the branches and, all of those things. And so when you're doing the reset, just be mindful that it's up to you how you reset. You get to select your victories. And so Dee got up and she still went and was consistent in her weigh in. But you get to select your victory. It's up to you what you're victorious in. If she wanted to hit snooze, that would be her victory. She may not consider it a victory, but that would be what she won. If you want to hit snooze 8 or 9 times a day, then that's what you're winning. You are being successful in what you are attempting to do, which is, in that case, putting off the day more and more. But when you get up and you do the things that you actually said you're going to do, it creates a chain reaction. There's an intrinsic value in that. And that productivity, that motivation spills over into other areas. And all of a sudden now you're like, man, this was a really good day. It was a really productive day. Just think about how you feel when you have a really productive day. You're like, yeah. And now I want you to think about how you feel when you don't have a productive day. When you put everything off and it's just sitting there looking at you, waiting. So it's up to you, the victories that you get to have during the reset. The last thing I want to share before we let this go is, again, there are a lot of things going on. There are a lot of things with the political race. There are a lot of things with some of the movements and some of the voices that we hear out there. Lots of things going on. Plenty of areas for you to look. COVID. What's really COVID's death rate? What's not COVID? Should we wear a mask? Well, hey, if the mask is not, it's just protecting me from here, why is it like so many different things we can look at in a way to say no, or be even conspiracy theorists with things. But I want to encourage you to think about the people in your immediate circle. Think about your sphere of influence. And instead of giving all these external things that you actually can not control in any way, shape, or form, you can't control it. Because you have an opinion on it doesn't mean you can't control it. Listen, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. If he can steal your time, hey, if he can steal your energy, your mental faculties, hey, then he gets the other stuff too. So I want to encourage you to think about your sphere of influence and think like, what am I teaching people? What am I teaching? Somebody is watching you right now. School just went back into session. So who's learning you? You're the subject. It's easy to say, do as I say and not as I do, but children watch you. People around you watch you. They can tell you your patterns. I have people who can tell me my patterns better than I can. because they watch you. And so somewhere, someone is learning you. And I want you to think about, what am I teaching them? What am I teaching the person who's learning me right now? At the end of the day, am I going to be like, yeah, but don't do that because of this? Or am I going to be aware of my influence and what I'm actually teaching people? So who's watching you? Who's absorbing you? Who's learning you? I want you to think about that as we're finishing out this 30-day reset. Be intentional in your influence. Be intentional in your influence. Be intentional with your time. And continue to do the things that you started to do on this 30-day reset. Whether that is something about weight loss, whether it's minimizing gossip, whether it's saying, I'm going to use my voice to speak life. Everything I speak. This week, I know everything I'm speaking is faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and love. It's a lot of crazy things going on in the world. And so the world doesn't even need my voice to add on to the craziness going on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to interrupt that and interject some faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and love. And I hope that you will do the same thing. Last thing I want to share with you, your thoughts will always try to prove you right, even when you're wrong. So be mindful of what you're thinking. Think on purpose, think intentional, and think deliberate. A lot of times you say, I did everything I know to do. But just because you did everything you know to do doesn't mean you did everything you could do. It's always possible to learn more. You woke up today, you have an opportunity to learn something new, to get some new information so that you can apply it in a new way. Be innovative in things. So if you're using, I did everything I know to do as a reason to not do something, I want to encourage you, you can always do everything you know to do is not the same as everything you can do. You are more capable than you know. God has given us some wonderful faculties, and I hope that you'll use it. That's all I have for the reset today, Dee. You have anything before we go?
Just one thing that I thought of when you said somebody's always watching you, it made me think of, I teach a class on Saturdays. And when the class started, I get a new group every 3 months or so. And I was starting shakes. I was already thinking about changing my eating habits. And I thought of it because my glass is still sitting here from this morning. But I started my shakes, and so I told the class, you'll probably be seeing me sip on my shakes. So for the next 3 months while we're in here together, challenge me. Ms. D, did you do workout? Ms. D, have you been drinking your shakes? Well, the last Saturday, this past Saturday, it was funny. The student said, Ms. D, where's your shake? We haven't seen them in 2 weeks. And I said, well, this morning I just got up late. And I told them the importance of the shakes is so I don't do the end of the day. I'm starving, want to eat everything. And so on break, they said, Ms. D, we'll go on break. You go to get your shake. But who's watching you? Who would think 3 months into this, we're now 2.5, that they're still watching my shakes? Somebody is always aware of what you're doing. So don't put it out there and proclaim it if you don't want people to challenge you to it.
No, but wait, it's a good thing. It's like habits. Whenever people do like the reset, they're like, oh, they think of all the habits they want to break. Habits aren't always bad. You can have good habits. Think about the habits you want to implement. Think about the habits you want to establish. When people think about sacrifice, they're like, oh, what I don't get to have. No, think of what you will have because you're sacrificing that. And so even with accountability, maybe because of how we were raised during school, you get sent to the principal's office. So you always think it's something negative, but it's not. There's some people who are going to the principal's office because it's something good there. It's not always negative. So with accountability, realize that accountability is good for you. In this case, it may look like, oh, Dee was busted, but no, that system helped her stay on point.
Great. Yeah.
That system helped keep her where she was going and where she wanted to go. Listen, willpower will trick you up. If you think I just got willpower ebbs and flows. Put a system in place. Get accountability partners. Not because you're going to get caught or get in trouble, but because accountability holds you when you're unable to hold yourself. Okay? Accountability is not your enemy. Neither is adversity. It's a great coach. So 30-day reset. Thank y'all for joining us. I don't have anything else to say. I'm going to show you a commercial from one of my clients, just because if you are eating healthier, please know that there are healthy snacks out there for you, and you can get them at Costco, Sam's Club, Safeway, different grocery stores, but I want to encourage you to get it. And yeah, we'll check in with you guys again before the month is out. Thank you so much, Dee. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.